This is the totally refreshed for 2024 Jeep Wrangler Sahara. And when we're doing the walk around here, I'm going to try to point out some of the differences between the 2023 and the 2024 for you, just so you got an idea what some of the differences are. Now, a couple things. This is the Sahara, so it has the 2-liter turbocharged engine in it. Now, when you go with this particular package, you get the adaptive cruise control. It comes with the Gorilla Glass in the windshield, so it's supposed to stand up better from rock chips. I mean, it's still breakable, but it's supposed to be stronger. Comes with heated seats, heated steering wheel, remote start. Also comes with dual zone climate control, backup camera, push button start. One of the new things for this year is that it has a 12-inch touchscreen on the dash, which we're going to look at when we get inside. This particular package also gets the LED headlights, LED fog lights, LED taillights, headlamps, of course all the skid plates on your, transfer case, fuel tank, all that kind of stuff, because it is a Jeep. We did add a few extra goodies. One of the things that's new is we got the McKinley leather seats in here, which is quite nice. They're power on the driver's side as well as the passenger side. They also have a power lumbar that's adjustable for up and down, so it's a little extra money for that. It's about $2,500 upgrade, but it's really nice seats. Like they're really quite comfortable. Trailer tow package, so it has the upgraded hitch on the back as well as the auxiliary upfitter switches. So if you're going to be adding any extra lights or accessories that are going to be electrically operated, you're not going to have to drill holes through your firewall. We also added the side steps on it, which is probably a good idea to help keep the rock chips down. And then we added the 1941 hood decal on the hood just to kind of dress it up a little bit. One other thing we added to this one was the color match top as well. So if you'll notice that it's silver, normally it's standard on the Sahara, but for an extra $1,000, everything all matches up nice. And I like the way it ties in with the fenders that are color matched too, so it kind of blends everything together. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick walk around here. We're going to kind of point out some stuff. And once again, I'm going to try to focus on some of the differences between last year and this year. And if they are different, I'm going to try to specifically point that out to you. Okay, so one of the things we did add was the side running boards. Okay, so you can see these. You see how they go along all the way to the bottom here? What's nice about that is it helps stop the rock chips, particularly here on your hinges and stuff like that. I've noticed that if you take a look at older Jeeps, these kind of get like rock pinged and stuff like that. So it helps keep those in good shape. A couple other things we did. Because it comes with the color match fender flares. It does have the black lip molding here, so that should take the brunt of the rock rash. So if you drive it on lots of gravel, it should stand up well. On the hood, this is the 1941 decal that they put on. I just think it looks pretty cool. Of course, 1941 is when Jeep came out. So that's where that's harkening back to. On the front, we got the nice LED headlights. So you'll notice the grill's different for 2024. The way they designed it and built it looks a little bit different. So if you're right into the Jeeps, you'll kind of pick up on that. A couple other things. Got the built-in fog lights right into the bumper here. So if you're going to be driving lots in the dark and in the wintertime, that's kind of handy. On the side, let's go take a peek in here. Inside, these are the leather seats that we were talking about. You'll notice that it has like the double stitching done in the gold all the way around, which ties in nicely with the gold stitching on the dash as well as on your door pillars and stuff. So it kind of all flows together nice. Get the Sahara logo in there as well. Biggest difference is the power seats themselves. They got a power recline here, so you can recline the seat. It also goes forward and back with a height adjustable, and it also has your lumbar support here for your lower back, and you can raise and lower that in here. So that's part of that upgraded package for $2,500. Normally this is a manual seat, and it has like a little lever that you pump to lift it up and down, that kind of stuff. So it's quite a bit nicer. On the dash, you got a little grab handle here, so the passenger, if you're driving around with no doors, they got a place to hold on to. This just folds down. There's your owner's manuals and stuff in there. Also comes with floor mats that are, form-fitted to the opening. It's got little clips that hold them in place. These just unsnap, so if you want to clean it, you can. It's got the little Jeep logo stitched into there, too, which kind of dresses it up a little bit and looks a little nicer. These doors are removable. There's just a couple of pins here that you take out. Just drop these out. There's a little toolkit, which I'll show you when we get to the back of the vehicle. And then these just slide off, and then you can just undo this strap here, and you're good to go. And then you can drive around with no doors, which is kind of fun. You also get a little grab handle here to climb in and out. In the back, we got privacy glass, so it keeps it nice and cool in the back. You don't get as much heat, especially if you got like little guys in car seats and stuff. The other nice thing about having the privacy glass is it looks cool, and it doesn't. People can't see inside the back of your vehicle, so there's less chance of them seeing something valuable and some crackhead smashing your window and stealing your stuff. On the back, you've got center console folds down. Inside here, you can put your couple of beverages. This little holder, the idea is you could put, set your cell phone there, and the kids could watch TV on there. This flips up out of the way too if you want. So now you've got seat belts for 3 people across the back if you wanted to. Over here, rear heat vents, or rear air conditioning vents, sorry. So AC blows out of here, and they can move them around and direct where they go. Down below, I'm trying to hold the camera steady here, I keep falling over. Power windows, okay, and then they've got these USB ports so the kids can plug their cell phones in and charge them. And then down below, you got another plug-in too. So if they want to plug in their laptop or something, they can. Okay. Nice little map pockets for storage. It's also got these little hooks for your grocery bags. So if you're coming out of the grocery store, you can loop your handles of your grocery bags over here, and it just keeps your stuff from falling over and rolling all over the place. These seats do fold down. I'll just show you. Pull this lever here, okay? The headrest folds down. You can just fold the headrest down if you want. You can just pull this lever, and just the headrest itself will fall over. The idea behind that is if you don't have anybody in your back seat, just lay these down. It just gives you better visibility out your back window when you're driving. You can also lift this whole handle up, and then the whole seat folds forward like that, and now you can see you got a flat load floor, and that goes all the way to the back. So if you're hauling something a little bit longer, a little more awkward, just gives you a little bit better, more room. You can kind of lay things out like a big hockey bag or something you could kind of throw through, big set of golf clubs, that kind of thing. Rear door, same thing as the front we looked at earlier. You got the nice gold stitching in there, little map pocket in there as well. Once again, this rear door is removable. You just pull those little pins out. Going to the back of the vehicle, a couple things I want to point out. First of all, you got the spare tire built into the back. It ties in with the other 4 that are on there, so it's the same tread pattern and everything. So if you wanted to rotate these in, if you're doing tire rotations, you could. Most people don't bother. They just rotate the existing wheels that are on there. But this way here, if you're out 4x4 and you're out somewhere in the middle of nowhere, you do have a full access to a full-size spare tire. Built-in backup camera is built right into this little guy here. You just take a little Torx head, take this piece off, and that gives you access to taking the bolts off so you can remove your spare tire. This rear door swings open like that. Okay, so you get like a barn door kind of an idea. And then this top piece also swings up out of the way to give you full access to the back. Down here, I want to point this out. This is the optional trailer hitch. So in behind this little cap, you just pull this off. There's a receiver bar in there. So you just slide your trailer hitch bar in there with your ball on it and then throw your pin in. And then there's your wiring harness, your 4-pin, and then your 7-pin. Now, if you're going to be pulling a trailer under 1,000 pounds, you're going to be okay using the 4-pin probably and the hitch. Anything over that, you're going to need to purchase an electric brake controller. Okay, so that's a dealer-installed accessory. If you want a price on that, let us know. We can get you a price on getting that put in for you. You can go aftermarket or factory, whatever you prefer. I'd probably go with the OEM. It just ties in nicer with the system, but that's something you can definitely talk about if you're going to be pulling a trailer. In the back, I want to show you some more stuff. So this bag here, okay, this is for your T-roof. I'll show you how the T-roof comes apart. But basically, above the driver's seat and the passenger seat on the front, you can pop the roof off, and the T-roofs just slide inside this bag. And then you secure the bag back here, and it keeps it from kind of rolling all over the place and getting damaged. So it makes it real easy to turn it into a convertible. I'll show you that when we get there. This little tray lifts up. Inside here is you've got these little holes there. It says door hinges. They got these little plugs. Okay, so when you take those bolts out of the doors there to take the doors off, this is where you put them. You just slide them in here, and it'll keep them from getting lost. This is your little tool kit. Inside here, there's a little wrench set for pulling the for undoing the hinges and bolts, and then you can just kind of lay them in here. This cover piece, this is for if you take the window and fold it down. So once you fold your front windshield down and lay it, there's a couple of pin hinges there too. Then this covers up some of the electronic components up on the top of the window piece. You can see that right there. That's going to pop on there and keep the water from getting into the electronics when you're driving off road. A couple other things back here. You got a little power point, so you can plug something in, like say you had like a little compressor or something. You could plug it in there just to run anything that's going to be battery operated and run off that. If you look along the door, or pardon me, the top of the back hatch, you can see it's got these bolts. There's 3 of them on each side, okay? There's also some pins up top on that roll bar, too, which we got to look at. But basically, you just undo these 3 bolts and the pin up front, and then you can just take the back of this canopy off. Canopy's fairly light. You're going to want 2 people to do it though, just because it's big and awkward. But if you're going to take it off, you can take the roof off, take the doors off, fold the window down, and then you're good to go. You can kind of turn it into like a fun off-road side-by-side type thing. It's not hard to do. You're going to want somebody to give you a hand. Once you've done it once or twice, you can probably do it in about 10 minutes. That's if you wanted to take everything off. If you're just going to take the front piece off, though, you can literally do that in less than 30 seconds. Take a look in the back seats here as well. You can kind of see this seat folds down too, give you full access to the back. I should probably point this out too if you got car seats. It does have the little hooks here, so if you can put the top strap over the top and then hook up the car seats for the kids, so they're not. If you're in an accident, they're good and safe. You can see here it's got this little button. If I was to press that button, it's going to automatically lock the doors. It won't let me do it because the keys are inside. But this key, you don't actually have to have it. You just got to have it on you. You don't actually have to use the key button fob. All you got to do is reach in and grab the handle, and it'll unlock the doors for you. Same with the locking doors. All you got to do is press that button. So you can pretty much just leave it in your purse or your pocket or whatever, and you never need to really grab it. Lock and unlock windows, power mirrors, power locks. This has the power seats as well, so it's the same as the passenger side. So you got the power lumbar with the height adjustable, power recline, all that kind of stuff. On the interior, automatic headlights. They're going to automatically turn on as soon as it's dark enough out. And then this is your dash brightness for your speedometer and your gauges and everything. They're all easy to get to and access through there. I've got a kind of a cool new logo thing that they put on here with the built-in pictures of the Gladiator and the Jeep Wrangler on there. On the dash, we're taking a look at a few things here. We've got these push buttons up and down for this pad over here controls your center dash. We're going to go through some of the screens that are there. And then over here, you've got your cruise control. One of the nice things for this year's, on this model, I should say, it was around last year as well, but you've got the adaptive cruise control. So what that adaptive cruise control does is it allows you to set the distance you'd like between you and the vehicles in front of you. And then when you're driving down the road, it'll just keep that set pace or that distance between you and the vehicles. So say you set your cruise at 120 and you gain on somebody only doing like 90, it'll actually keep that distance between you, and you can just kind of cruise along at 90 kilometers an hour, and then when you pull out the pass, it'll speed back up to 110. So makes for a really relaxing drive. Nice heated steering wheel. This is all leather wrapped. You'll see it's got the gold stitching. Okay, so the gold trim is what they're doing now on the Sahara. It looks really nice. I really like how it finishes everything off. Let's go through the dash. Nice big tack. Nice big speedometer. Okay, so this dash is basically the same as what you're going to be looking at on a 23. But we'll go through it anyway. You've got the speedometer. And you can switch between miles per hour and kilometers per hour just by hitting the OK button. So you can decide what you'd like for that. Next screen we've got is your vehicle information. So this is anything to do with your vehicle. So tire pressure, oil pressure, battery voltage is in there. So any of that kind of stuff that to do with the mechanical end of things. Off-road screens, you've got two of these. This one here tells you if we were in 4x4, this would light up saying the transfer case is engaged. And then you've also got this one here, which is your pitch and roll. So it'll tell you how steep of a hill you're climbing or how steep of a side hill you're on. Adaptive cruise control, this just tells you if it's off or on. Fuel economy. Obviously, the fuel economy isn't very good because it spent its whole life idling, but you got a couple of different screens here. So you can reset one, and you still got your other one. So it allows you access to two different fuel economies. Why that's handy is, let's say you decided you wanted to go on a road trip and you're going to go do it one day at, say, 20 kilometers slower than you did the day before. You can kind of see how much that extra speed's costing you. You can use the tripometer for the same thing. You can reset one screen. Okay, and you still got your main data, so you don't lose if you're trying to keep track of something, say for a month, and then you want to do like a short trip interval, you can reset that without losing all your data. So you can see we've got 9 kilometers in the last hour and 20 minutes, so that's why the fuel economy is a little bit off. But this little turbo gets great mileage. Like the 4-cylinder turbocharged engine it's peppy, it's got lots of zip, and it gets good mileage as well. So that's kind of probably, I would say, about half and half. Kind of doing like half turbos, half V6s. So it just depends what people prefer. Start stop. What that features, I guess I should talk about that a little bit. If we're sitting at a stoplight and we got our foot on the brake, basically when you go to take off, as soon as you take your foot off the brake, it restarts. That way you're not burning a bunch of mileage or a bunch of fuel when you're stuck in traffic. So that's the idea behind that. Next screen we got here is our music. So this just tells you what radio station we're listening to. and it'll tell you what the artist is, that kind of stuff. And then stored messages are like, say you had a check engine light on, or a low tire pressure light, or hey, your key fob battery is dead, like that kind of stuff. It'll just store them there till you get into to to have a look at it and fix it for you. On this screen here, this is our screen setup. We can go in here, and I always like to go in here and change the upper left from the compass to the time, because I like to know what time it is more than what direction I'm heading. So you can see you can go in and reprogram that. It allows you to change, the center. You can see that center. So whatever kind of turning orange there, you can kind of see that what we're changing. So it allows you to customize this dash, basically, is what's nice about it. You can go in there and build that screen up so it's got the information that you want to see when you're driving down the road. Okay, moving on, we got the push button start here. So this is the same thing that ties in with that remote proximity keyless key fob that we talked about earlier. So as long as the key's in the vehicle and we hit that start stop button, it's going to start. Okay, so this is the big news for 2024. It's got a new 12.3-inch touchscreen, and they put it in laterally in here, and it just looks great. I like the way they tied in these little vents down here as well for your air conditioning. They're almost invisible until you actually look for them, but it's kind of nice how they just kind of tied that all in. Anyway. So the main screen, once again, is customizable, which is what I really like. So let's say you can go in here, you can touch it, you can say, I want my music on this side, and we could go in here and we could change this. Let's say I want my climate control over there. So now I got my radio here, my climate there. You can also add some different screens. You can kind of scroll between them if you like and kind of see what you'd like to change or update. Access to your heated seats, you just hit this button here, and then you can turn your heated seats off and on if you want, or your heated steering wheel, or increase and decrease your temperature. There's also push buttons down below that do the same thing, but this is just a quick access to it. If you want to use that, you can. On the media, this is anything to do with your radio stations. So this is all your different, you got AM, FM, Sirius XM. You can also do all your USB ports, Bluetooth if you got your phone paired up or something else paired up to it. Typically what you're going to find if you like to listen to music off your phone, I recommend you download the Apple CarPlay or the Android Auto app onto your cell phone, because what that will do is if you're listening to Apple CarPlay, it'll actually override this little phone button here, and it'll look like a little C and a circle around it. And then when you hit that button, it'll mirror your cell phone. So if you got your Apple Maps open, you found something on your cell phone for directions, and you're using it to get there, it'll actually take your Apple Maps screen and it'll display it up here for you so you can figure out where you want to go. So it's basically mirrors your cell phone. And it does a fantastic job. You can do your cell phone, take your text calls, answer calls, does all kinds of stuff. Next screen we got is a comfort screen. So this is just a big version of that little one we were looking at earlier. So you got your temperature controls, where you'd like the air to blow, all that kind of stuff. Auto mode. You got dual zones too, so you can change the temperature for the passenger. So I got the passenger set at 23.5. I got the driver at 19.5, so it'll kind of blow a little more heat over there. Vehicle settings. So here's some cool screens. Go to your dashboard. We can access this off-road screen. What I really like about the off-road screen is this accessory gauges. So when we were looking at the center dash, and we were saying we're going through, this is all the vehicle information that's going on. A lot of those screens are transposed onto here. So you got your oil temperature, your coolant temperature, oil pressure, battery voltage, and tranny. So if you're doing some real serious off-roading, you can kind of just leave these screens up and just keep track of what's going on. You've also got a pitch and roll screen, which is similar to the other one we looked at. It's just a bigger version of it. And then same with the 4x4, if your diffs are locked up and that kind of stuff, and then your steering angle. So as you change the steering, you can see how it's changing the degrees. I don't know if you can see it or not in the video, but the wheels are turning and it's saying it's what the degree of the turn is. But that's the one I like the best, is the voltage and the oil temperature and stuff. So just to give you an idea what's going on. You also got in this page, we're going to go back one. There's the controls. This is your backup camera. So you can see you got your built-in backup camera. That was that little doohickey we looked at on the rear spare tire. If you put the vehicle in reverse, you can access this too, but this is just a quick way to get to it. And then your settings, and this is where you program your car, your truck the way you want it. So you can set it up like what kind of units do you want? Do you want your clock in a 24-hour clock or a 12-hour clock? Do you want your tire pressure in PSI or kilopascals, all that kind of stuff. So it allows you the ability to kind of scroll through all that stuff. So that's kind of the new touchscreen in a quick snapshot. Let's go down here. So now we're back to stuff that was kind of around before in 2023. You've got all your push buttons. You got your heated seats, your heated steering wheel. You can just press these buttons here. Temperature controls up and down. We've got an auto mode that we can engage, and it'll automatically just keep your temperature, whatever you've got it set to, same as before. So once again, I think most people use the buttons, at least I do anyway, rather than the touchscreen. But it's whatever you prefer. Down here we got power windows. We've also got a lockout button, so we can lock out the rear windows so they don't work. So if your kids are piddling around back there making, fighting over it and stuff, you can just disable it and roll the windows up. Little power point, that flicks open. Also over here is the media inputs, so that's where you plug your cell phone in if you want your direct feed to your, well, one, it'll charge your phone, plus it'll loop up into the stereo so you can play music off your cell phone. Once again, you're probably just going to use the Bluetooth wireless hookup though. 2 high, 4 high, you just pull the lever on it, and that gets you into 4-wheel drive. Over here we've got the automatic transmission. It's also got a manual mode, so you can slide it over to here, and then you can use this to shift up and down manually like that. What that does is it kind of allows you to, basically tell the transmission how many gears you're going to let it have access to. So you can use it to downshift. It's kind of like a quasi manual transmission. Not quite, but kind of. Also up here you'll see it's got these auxiliary switches, 1, 2, 3, 4. What's nice about the auxiliary switches is underneath the firewall, or on the firewall underneath the hood, you can actually plug your wiring right into it. So all you got to do is, let's say you wired up some lights to the bumper, you just run them up to the firewall, and then when you press the auxiliary 1 button, if you plug it in the right button, it'll turn them off and on. That way you don't have to drill holes through the dash to put stuff in here and make a mess and have those kind of cheesy little switches that you get when you buy aftermarket lighting kits. In here we got a couple cup holders, little place here for your cell phone to sit. Here's your key fob, lock and unlock. It's got a remote start on there as well. If you press this button, you can see your little blade key comes out. What that blade key does is it locks this lock right here, okay, as well as this lock over here on this glove box. So the idea behind that is let's say we go to you're out driving around, you got the roof off, the doors off, you're out having some fun, you want to stop at a pub and grab a beer or whatever before you head home. It'll allow you to kind of put some of your valuables in these storage areas and lock them up so they don't get stolen while you're inside and not around the vehicle. This flips up. You got a little tray here for some stuff. You can also flip this up, and now you got a bigger area here to store some stuff. There's that other USB port that we talked about, so you can plug your cell phone in there. If you want, you can even drape your cord through here, and then set your phone in here, and then plug it in through the top, and it'll charge it with that power point there as well when you're driving. Overhead, I want to show you how easy to take this roof off. So there's a lever here. Just unsnap that. You unsnap that button. Roll that lever over and roll this lever over back here behind me. Get you a better angle there so you can see it. So there's this one here. Same thing for the driver's side. So there's like 8 levers, I guess, total. Once you get it done, the driver's side pops up first. It just lifts up, and then you can grab the passenger side and lift it off. So literally, we could take this top off in less than 30 seconds. It'll take us longer to figure out how to get it in the bag than it will to take the roof off. Once you've put it in the bag a couple of times, things go a lot quicker, but initially it takes a bit more time. So, so if you're driving along the road and the weather's really nice, you say, you know what, I'd like to have, take the T-top off and enjoy the weather, you can pop the roof off and throw it in the bag real quick and away you go. Okay, so that's kind of this new 2024 Jeep Wrangler with some of the cool features that we put in. So the big news, different grille, a little better seats, different dash, tweaked a few things on the outside for trim levels and stuff like that. So that's kind of the overall effect changes. Once again, it's a refresh. Really like what they've done with the interior and the exterior. I'm quite pleased with the changes that they've come up with it for us. So if you're interested in taking a look at their new Jeep Wrangler, pop on by, give us a call. Let's get together and have a cup of coffee and send you home in a new Jeep. We hope to see you soon.